Information is power.
Okay, everybody. Podcasting live here from Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay, first I want to address some of the other Blog Talk podcasts out there. I was listening to an idiot last night. His name was Spencer, actually. I called into God's Rainbow Ministries. And he was addressing how I say you heard it here first on Blog Talk Radio. First of all, if you missed that show last week, I did. We spoke to the San Diego, California councilman's office. It was a councilwoman that answered the phone. She was a councilwoman. And the reason why I say you heard it here first, you idiot, you ignoramus idiot, because that's just what you are. So stop bashing my name on the internet and calling me names, because you're an idiot. You're an imbecile, and that's what you are. Simple as that, Mr. Spencer. Okay? And I'm sure you're probably trolling around on Blog Talk right now, so hopefully you're listening. And the reason why I say you heard it here first, Mr. Spencer, is because what media outlet is telling you that there is not a crisis on the border? You see it on your flat screen TV or your dumb phones every single day, don't you? The border crisis, the border crisis. They're just coming over the border. You know, they can't be stopped. You know, there's a crisis at the border, and your Republicans and Democrats, your misleaders there that you took the time for, that you think your vote counted when you went and voted for them, which it doesn't count. Okay, you don't elect anybody. All politicians are selected. But anyway, the councilwoman's office, the last show, actually stated very clearly on this podcast, and this is from Imperial Beach, San Diego, California, less than 3 miles from the border of Mexico, okay, stated very clearly on this podcast, there's no crisis. And I asked specifically, so the corporate news media outlets out there are lying. There's no real crisis. No, the border agents have total control of the border. Nobody's running across the border with 10 tons of cocaine on their backs, because we know the government ships the cocaine and heroin in this country. Comes through China, Afghanistan, blah, blah, blah. We've been over that many times, okay? There's no poor Mexican woman with 10 tons of cocaine running across the border, supplying every single town and every single city across the United States with cocaine and heroin, okay? It's not happening. Just think about it. But anyway, back to the councilwoman who was on this show. I had her name written down here. She's because it took me a while to get a hold of her, but the woman that the original woman that answered the phone tried to connect me at first, and then she promised, I will get you a live voice. And so anyway, they exposed the fact that there is no crisis at the border. It's all gobbledygook garbage. It's all a part of the New World Order. It's brainwashing tactics. Okay? Simple as that. You are being brainwashed. Okay? Through your dumb phones, through your flat screen TVs. So watch Fox and Friends and your little feel-good stories and you support our veterans. And look, I appreciate the men and women that fought for our country and all that stuff before Vietnam. How's that sound? Because every war after World War II was a big, fat, freaking lie. Simple as that. And callers on the phone lines here, I will get to you, okay? I will get to you, and you'll get a live voice. I don't screen callers, so hopefully you're not going to call up and threaten me or talk stupid, all right? And we can go back. We can start with the Vietnam War. You want to talk about the Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin, false flag. Okay, you want to talk about the Korean War? You want to talk about Iraq, the Desert Storm? There was no chemical weapons in Iraq. Okay, big fat lie. And now what is important, why I'm bringing this up is, if you're not paying attention, you zombies out there, okay, and I spoke to, listen, I've been preaching this for the last 12 years. I played clips from you, from Aaron Russo. I posted on social media back when there was MySpace and not Facebook. I was telling people, they're going to do Iran, and they're going to do Chavez and Venezuela, but Chavez died of cancer, actually, and so that got postponed. So they're doing Venezuela. You see, if you're paying attention, you know what I'm talking about. They're going after Venezuela, then they're going after Iran. And no, Iran did not attack anybody over there. Come on. But they have sent, and if you heard your corporate commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, okay, they're gearing up. He said it right in front of you if you pay attention to the press conferences he gives. Okay? He said it right in front of you. There are very good, smart people over there are already there. And what that means is that the CIA is there. They got the satellites. They got the HARP machine ready to go to zap Iran, and they're going to do Iran. They got it because Iran's a sovereign country. Now, look, I don't agree with Iran and what they believe in, but the fact of the matter is they're a sovereign country and they're not a part of the New World Order, just like Saddam Hussein was not. Simple as that. Okay? And first of all, the Constitution of our republic, not democracy. We're not a democracy, okay? We were founded as a republic under the Constitution. We have no business whatsoever interfering with foreign affairs at all. Well, they're in our backyard, Venezuela. The Russians are down there, the Cubans are down there. Listen, man, they got technology right now. They're listening. They can zap me from outer space. If they can hone in on a penny on a street corner from outer space, trust me, they got so much technology now, you don't even know it. You are chipped already, and you don't even know it. Your underwear is chipped with a barcode, okay? And they're going to, and look, this is a big picture. A lot of you just don't get it. And like one caller when I was calling the Federal Reserve a couple weeks ago, you're going to call me nuts because you don't understand it. You don't get it. The Civil War was not fought over slavery, and then I got into a big debate with someone over that, and he started reading me stuff off of Google, and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I can go on and on and on for hours, but none of you are going to get it until you start doing your own research. Stop staring at your dumb phone and walking into telephone poles and getting run over by cars because you're staring at your phone while you cross the road, and start paying attention to what's going on around you. The New World Order is coming, okay, and you will be put in a FEMA camp, or you'll have to go to a FEMA camp because none of you have more than 3 days' worth of food in your house, okay, and you don't know how to get water, and most of you are probably against the Second Amendment, so you're not going to be able to protect yourself because let me tell you something, when people don't have food, go to the Army military site. I wish I wrote that down, actually, where they started drawing up these FEMA camp plans back during the Oliver North trials, the Contra hearings, where senators exposed the FEMA camps that were being built during the late 1990s and that were proposed to be built during the late 1990s. So look, the Rex 84, look it up. It's all true. The FEMA coffins, look, it's all true. You're just a bunch of idiots that don't understand. I hope this is a live show. I've been fooled too many times. I always go live, Mr. Sparkles. Okay? It's Sunday night right now, and it's 7:16 p.m. Turn on your dumb phone and look at it. Am I right, Mr. Sparkles? And the phone number is 657-383-0616. But I like all the comments that I got about the Federal Reserve when I called the people about the Federal Reserve and do you accept Federal Reserve notes. But I wanted to address, again, if you missed it, Mr. Spencer last night was on another God's Rainbow Ministries podcast last night, and every time I call into a podcast on Blog Talk Radio, the show turns into me. Everyone wants to attack me, so I must be doing something right. I love it. And before I get to live callers here, press number 1. I'll take live callers here. Now, hopefully all of you will be respectful and talk about something of substance instead of nonsense. Friday night, I'm sitting at home here. I'm not going to give out too much personal detail because I've been getting attacked here on my cell phone, so I won't be giving that out anymore. So if you want it, you need to go do your research. But obviously a lot of people have. Someone called up and pretended to be the Federal Reserve and called my cell phone and said they were the Federal Reserve, and I was in big trouble. And after I psychologically dumbed this idiot down after his second attempt to call me from a restricted number, which I do now have now. I have now, and I know where he's was calling from, but I'm not going to put that out there because if anything was to happen to him, then I'll get blamed for it, and we get into all that social media, and then I'll be labeled a terrorist and whatnot. But I know who you are, you jackass, and that's just what you are, an idiot, calling me up from a restricted number, telling me you're the Federal Reserve. You know you committed a crime by doing that, you know. But I don't care. That's fine. You want to call me up and waste your time, that's fine, because I really wasn't doing anything at the time when this stupid idiot called. You know, and that's just what he is, an idiot, an imbecile. Don't call me on a Friday night pretending to be the Federal Reserve. How stupid do you think I really could be? Come on. Knock it off, people. Knock it off. All right. Anyone wants to talk about anything here tonight, or otherwise I could do other things here on the podcast. So maybe Mandela Khan wants to come onto the line here. I don't know if he's listening. I don't know. I'm looking for his number here. And that was another thing the idiot said last night. He says he's got 200 callers on the line. Well, right now my switchboard says I have actually 121 callers, okay? So I don't have anyone pushing number one, so I'm going to be honest. So if you want to talk here tonight and have something to say, then by all means do it. And hopefully none of you will be idiots or imbeciles. So out of 121 people, do you want to press 1, or did you hang up? Because I saw a lot of number ones there, and as soon as I started saying I know the number of that individual who called me on Friday night, click, I saw about 10 people hang up. Because spoofing your caller ID isn't going to work. So don't be a jackass. Simple as that. All right? So anyway, we are live here, and we're exposing the New World Order. That is understanding the times in which we live in today. So let me message here Mr. Mandela Khan and see if he wants to come on and talk, because I really don't want to ramble on here forever. So, Mandela Khan, if you're listening, I'm going to give you the floor tonight if you'd like to. I know you were attacked, I think it was the last show or the show before. Hang on, let me send him a message right now. Because he was unfairly attacked. He was called a racist and whatnot. So I want to give him the floor for about 10, 15 minutes. Otherwise, I'll move on and do some other things. I just sent him a message. I know he's listening. He's got to be. He always listens to the podcast. So I'm just scanning down the numbers because I recognize his number. I'm not going to give out the. Let's see. Let's read the chat room then. If Mandela Khan doesn't want to call in, the leaders of the coup will go, never see justice. That's absolutely right, Flycatch. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But until Mandela Khan wants to call in, let's have a little bit of fun here. And hopefully nobody calls in tonight. That would be great. I don't want to hear from idiots. I want to hear from people that have some substance and bring some sort of conversation. You want to talk about history, you want to talk about the New World Order, you want to talk about the Federal Reserve Bank, the things that we've covered for many years on this podcast. Those are the things that I want to talk about. I don't want to hear about Joseph Gibson's a child molester and idiots like that calling in. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Okay? So I know I saw a bunch of callers, and they hung up as soon as I told them I could reread their number and go sing a song for us. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll sing a song for you. You want to hear a great – well, hang on here. I've got 3 callers now that just popped up, and they're all private numbers. So let's see what we get here. I'm not going to sing a song here for anybody, but I can play you something that may wake you up. So anyway, okay, let's go to the first caller here. Private caller, go ahead. You were waiting for 12 minutes. That's what it said, so I hope not. Go ahead, private caller. Are you trying to play a recording for me? You're unmuted, private caller. All right, you just want to waste my time probably. I'll maybe it's a bad connection. I don't know. I'll unmute you one more time. Go ahead. Private caller, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Fuck you.
Oh, there we go. We got the kooks calling in. Here we go. That's all. That's how smart you are to call in, spend 12 minutes on hold to say a curse word to me and swear at me? Wow. You're a genius, sir. You're a genius. I hand it to you. I really got to hand it to you. You're a genius. Do you have anything else, Dad? Yeah, you hang up, you idiot. Because he knows I was decoding his number. Jerk. But don't worry, don't be scared. You don't have to be scared. I'm not going to give your phone number out over online or anything like that. But let's have some fun here tonight. Let's have some fun. There we go. I think he called back in again. Hang on. Well, this could be another private caller. I've got about, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 private callers. They're probably all the same person. So, not to spoil your fun, people. So, but I got some things I could do here to make the show interesting. If Mandelicon doesn't call in, Mandelicon always wants a voice, and then when I try to give him a voice, he doesn't call in. But I don't know. But all right, well, could this be the same idiot again, calling in from a private number? Go ahead.
How about you like eating shit? I mean, you sick ass motherfucker.
Yeah. You sound real intelligent, sir. How does it feel? You're the same idiot that called me on Friday night claiming to be the Federal Reserve. Now, why would you do that, you idiot? Why would you do something like that? Yeah. Change your voice all you want. Yeah, okay. Listen.
I can't bullshit, man.
Yeah, man. What are you talking, Ebonics? Yeah, man. Hey, listen, pal. You really want to call into a live podcast and make a jerk of yourself? Do you have anything to contribute of some substance? I mean, what's really on your mind? I want to know. Or are you somebody that just lives in your parents' basement and whacks off naked pictures on the internet and wishes he had a credit card so he can get some FaceTime with some fake girl on the internet on Facebook? Is that who you are, sir? Is that the type of life you live?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh, I hit a nerve there, didn't I? You're a bottom dweller. Okay, you live in the basement of your parents. You have no job. Okay, you're probably collecting food stamps. Okay, and your parents are paying for your internet connection right now, or you're calling in from your Obama phone, and you're a loser, sir. You're a loser. I mean, get some help, brother. Get some help for real. Meet Tony Gaga. Well, yeah. So all right. So you are a blog talk radio show troll. You're a blog talk radio show troll. Is that what you are? Come on, man. Tell me the truth. Can you tell me something of some substance? I mean, is this what I'm going to have on my podcast all the time? People like you who can't have a conversation? Yeah, I can barely hear you, number one. So you're probably with your queer friends in the basement playing with yourself, looking at pictures of and trying to search for pictures on Facebook saying, oh, that girl's hot. Yeah, I wish I had a credit card, but I can't get up in the morning and go to work because I'm a lazy fool. I'm a lazy, dumbed-down American owned by the Federal Reserve. But as long as my parents are alive, I'll be okay, right? Is that who you are, sir? Yeah, no comment. You can't figure out what I'm saying. Your brain is wired wrong, man. Get off the methadone, get off the pills, get off the marijuana, get off the heroin, get off your fake food that you're eating, and grow up and be a man. Be a man.
It's all about the bullshit. Okay?
I can barely hear you. See, you can't even speak clearly. That's your problem, man. You've been dumbed down. You've been vaccinated. You got too much mercury and lead in your bloodstream. That's making your brain go crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, right? Am I right? Get some help. Get some help, pal. Yeah. Okay, whatever. You know what? I think, hang on, I'm scrolling down the numbers here. Mandelicon, you know, I would like you to bring some substance to this podcast. I will not interrupt you. I give you my word. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to talk about whatever you want. Obviously, Mendelicon, we've got these dumbed-down idiots that their brain, you know, they've been vaccinated, they've been shot up with a mercury and lead, they're drinking their poisonous city water, and they don't know where they're going or how they're going, and these are the people that are going to end up in the FEMA camps. And unfortunately, when I have to bunk next to them, hopefully I won't end up in a FEMA camp. I can sustain myself, but we live in such a stupid, dumbed-down society today, it might be safer to go to a FEMA camp. Because guess what, pal? Guess what? The economy is going to crash right as soon as they do Venezuela and Iran. You got that? Yeah, you better hang up, you idiot. Yeah, you probably got a message from a girl on Facebook. You bottom-dwelling scumbag, dirtbag, scum of the earth. And don't you call my cell phone no more. I'm giving you one stiff warning. Do not call my cell phone anymore pretending to be the Federal Reserve Bank. Don't do it. All right. Mendelicon, do you want to preach for a little while here? And I won't interrupt you. I give you my word. Do you want to talk? Press the number 1, Mendelicon, and I see your number now. You're at the bottom of my screen. So you press the number 1, and you can, I don't know how you say it, roar, I guess. If you want to talk tonight about the New World Order or the New Kids on the Block, I'm going to give you the platform here tonight. And I promise not to debate you. So if not, I'm not going to answer some of these private callers. I'm not going to do it. So maybe you can't get through. I don't know. Hang on, maybe he sent me a message. Hang on, let me check here. Oh, boy. No, he didn't. So maybe he's just listening. I don't know. I'm trying to give him the floor here. You know, when I want to give him the floor, he doesn't call in. And oh, boy, here we go. Maybe he doesn't want to talk here tonight. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, I was honed into your number, Mendelicon. So I will shut up and allow Mendelicon to take over the platform here for the next 10 or 15 minutes. So hopefully Mendelicon, usually he has a lot to say, so we're going to bring him on. Because I didn't have any scheduled guests or scheduled platform here tonight. I just wanted to see how many idiots would call in, and there's many on the phone line. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Go ahead, Mendelicon. The floor is yours. I'm trying to unmute you. There you go. Go ahead, Mendelicon. The floor is yours.
Let me say this. I don't have any I have some very, very serious reservations because I have no intentions on having any delusional, schizophrenic discussion with understanding the sign of the times in which we live in today. And when last week, I think it was, Press Jesus the Sinister was on, it opened up my mind to the epiphany. And that epiphany allowed me to, from now on, have a little bit of patience, discipline, and control. So, actually, I know that there's not a host of new people who's calling. Maybe that's where you like it. Maybe you like it with your little private callers and all of the shenanigans that you go through program after program. But I've said it before. If I just hear my voice and no other new people, then I'm not doing my job. And if I have to hear your voice, I know that you are falling short of your assignment as well. Why? Because we need people. And from what I've been hearing, it's the usual suspects and the same old, let me check this private call, let me check this private call. Man, that's worn a little thin, so I'm not so sure that you really want more or new people coming in to share what they have at a time like this. But that's the reason why I joined your procession, and the only reason. So, really, get away. You really get away. Get away. Really, you know, that's really where I am today. You know, and I know that tomorrow a lot of you will be out there barbecuing, having fun, and having real memorial. But I'm just not feeling the joke. So, you know, I don't have a whole bunch to say.
Okay, well, I didn't interrupt you. I kept my promise. So if you want to carry on, usually you got a lot to say, and you got the time here on the platform. We got a bunch of callers on the line, but I won't connect them to criticize you or call you a racist or whatnot. So I just wanted to give you the platform here. As long as you wanted to take, I kept my promise. I didn't interrupt you. So if you want to carry on, you're more than welcome to.
It don't matter what they say or what I'm called or anything. That when I look in the mirror, I don't see none of what I'm heard, what it sounds like, or what someone want to say. I mean, that don't mean anything, as far as I'm concerned. My skin is not so thin. With all the stuff I put out, I have to expect some honest, open criticism. But when it's consistently the same old Christ, nigga, Christ, nigga, that don't reflect on me at all because I'm not a nigga and I don't follow Christ. So, but somebody does. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just rest the case right here, fall back, and listen to some of the usual suspects and see what comes out of this, because I'm sure that you didn't alert many people to call in tonight, so it's no use to me putting anything else on the table that I've already put out that has not been absorbed at this time. So carry on. I'll just sit here.
Okay. Okay, Mandela. Well, I did not interject or argue with you. I kept my promise. If you wanted to, like I said, if you wanted to talk here tonight, I was giving you the platform. That's all. I know we didn't advertise the show or put anything forward. This was a little spontaneous on my part, but it's the Memorial Day weekend, and that's why I did that. So if you want to sit back and listen and jump in, I won't mute you. You can mute yourself, and we can listen to the usual suspects, but I can also do my usual thing and call a few places live. But I was more interested in hearing about the Pan Am African Network. I was willing to let you talk about that and your class action and what you had to say. I did not interrupt you like I promised. So if you want to sit back and listen, that's fine. If not, you can carry on, and I can get to other callers. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. I'm giving you the floor.
I'll go on to some other callers, if you will.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for calling. I'll leave you on the phone line. I know you've been listening for years now, and you don't have to be suspect of me. Trust me. Who else does this on Blog Talk Radio? I mean, if you called into another show, you know what you would get. I don't know if God's Rainbow Ministries is out there. He promised he was going to join in here tonight. Maybe he wanted to talk about his show last night where I called in, and all of a sudden the show turned into about Joseph Gibson. And I didn't mean to do that to his podcast. I was just calling in to comment on what he was saying. And as soon as people heard my voice and knew that Joe Gibson was on the phone line, they went crazy and started attacking him. And this guy Joe Gibson says he heard it first, and he's a liar, and he says he's got 100 callers on the phone line. And, look, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody out here, just like Mandela don't have to prove nothing to nobody. All right? He's been calling into this podcast now for a long time. I don't have the exact months, dates, or years, but he's been calling in for a long time. And he has been attacked, even when I let him host the program. So, but I know he sent me a private message there that he was going to be live at like 11 p.m. I'm not going to give out details. I don't know if he wants me to give out that information or not. But 11 p.m. for me is kind of late. If you were earlier, I would have joined you and listened. So I apologize that 11 p.m. is just too late for me. If you were a little bit earlier, I would have really listened, because after 11 p.m. it's time to shut it down for the night and turn off the nonsense and stop listening to the idiots out there. So I'll take some other callers, like you said, Mandela. I'll let you jump in anytime you want. And if anyone attacks Mandela here tonight, and Mandela says, hang up on him, Joe, I will. Okay? So we're not going to be calling him the N-word or any other word here tonight. We're not going to be attacking Mandela. So let's move down the line here. 657-383-0616. Because I'm going to say one more thing. Mandela I've spoken to him for a long time privately. And this is a good man. I may disagree with him on some issues, but this is a good man. He's got a strong voice, a great radio voice, actually. And I've spoken to him privately many times. I remember New Year's Eve. He was blowing up my phone on New Year's Eve, sending me text messages. And no, I'm not going to share that with anybody. That was private between him and I. But, you know, I consider him a friend, and I like communicating with him through social media. I wish I could meet him in person. I think him and I would get along. But for the powers to be, right now that's not possible. But I do appreciate his voice on my podcast. So those of you that want to attack him, if Mandela-Khan, he's still on the line, if you start attacking him and he says, Joe, just hang up on that idiot, he's just a waste of time, I'm going to listen to him tonight. So let's see if we got the usual suspects. Let's see, like Mandela-Khan said. He's got a way with words. You know, he actually cracks me up sometimes. You know what I mean? Not in a rude way, but he brings an enlightenment to the podcast. Actually, we've had many laughs throughout the years. Actually, when he's called in, I remember when he said the juice is on the loose. When OJ was released, you know, he had me laughing so hard I had to mute my own microphone. But anyway, all right, let's go to 321, and then we got now, of course, our private callers. 321, go ahead.
Mr. Gibson?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Hello, this is Eugene down here in Titusville, Florida. Titusville, Florida. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Well, I want to wish you a happy Memorial Day. Hope you can remember all those who've come before us and died. I'm going to go out to the cemetery tomorrow, decorate some graves of my ancestors down here in Florida.
Okay. Then good for you. God bless you then. I know Mandela-Khan won't like me saying that, but that's fine. You know, we all have our individual beliefs, and if that's what you want to do, then I say go for it. You know, you have free will to do what you want. You know, and we should remember people. If Memorial Day is something to remember, we need to remember that we've got a black eye here in America. We've been hoodwinked.
A black guy?
America is one big fat lie. So go ahead, sir.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that, but anyway. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I was out here in the yard, and I got a problem with ants. And these ants are coming up inside my house and my garage. What do you recommend I do for that?
Really, sir? I don't know how to get rid of ants. I think you called in a couple times asking about crabgrass or dandelions and stuff like that. So as far as ants go, I say, you know, don't step on any ants. You know, they have a right to exist too. So just let them crawl around. You know, leave them alone.
Oh boy. Okay.
The ants. Let me finish, sir. The ants you really need to worry about are those black widow spiders in the District of Criminals in Washington D.C. Those are the ants you got to worry about. Okay.
Well,
but go ahead. You got something. I'll get to another caller here unless you got something else you want to say.
No. Every time you do a show, the scoreboard says Joey 1, Troll 0. It's a shutout every day. You do a great show. Thanks for sharing the platform. They're listening in. Have a good night.
Well, thank you, sir. Hey, at least he paid me some respect there at the end of his call. I appreciate that. I really do. That's great. I was hoping Spencer would come on, the imbecile and the ignoramus idiot that he is, that tried to attack me on another podcast show last night. I was listening to the idiot, so I'll leave you on the line if you want. Let's get to before I take another private caller. Well, actually, no, I can't because this person's been waiting on hold. It appears for 42 minutes. So, this is my home state, Connecticut. So, go ahead, Connecticut.
Connecticut. It's the constipation state. That's what it is. I mean, the Constitution state. Yeah. I'm sorry. Get rid of ants and other varmints. Get rid of ants and other varmints, canine pepper and diatomaceous earth. You can eat both of them and you won't die, and it'll get rid of all your problems.
Tell us what's going on in Connecticut now about, I think we talked about this with drive. Now they want to tax you by the mile?
Well, yeah, they're putting electronic, well, they want to put electronic tolls in. And they probably will, seeing as how they already spent the money they haven't got. And that's the whole deal. And they're going to put electronic tolls in, and it comes out to either 3.4 or 4.4 cents for every mile. And, of course, you may not even know you're going through a toll, so you'll just receive a fine and penalty in the mail. And to make things a little bit worse, instead of paying the $9 billion in money that they owed for retirement and everything, they're going to postpone that for 10 years or more, and that $9 billion will be $37 billion at that time, plus what they owe in the meantime. So I can see Connecticut being in a big bundle of baloney soon.
Well, this goes back to my point. The corporation is bankrupt, and that's why they're creating war with Iran. You see, it's all a big club. It's a big game. And the United States, these politicians have spent all the money that the Federal Reserve has lent them. And see, people don't understand banking systems. And like I think you called in a couple weeks ago, and when we were trying to explain fractional reserve banking, people were calling in saying we're nuts, we're cuckoo, you're a whack job. And I called the Federal Reserve live, and the Federal Reserve openly stated we're not supposed to talk to you. What do you mean? You're supposedly the Federal Reserve, federal, and I am a citizen of America. You're telling me you're in control of our money and you're not supposed to talk to me? You're only allowed to talk to Bank of America.
You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. It's not your money. It's theirs.
Exactly. But these
dumb-down
slaves out there don't get it.
Right, they're only
I was
letting
talking
you
to somebody
use it.
real quick before. Yeah, you use the money. That's right. And I was talking to a slave the other day, and he's like, I own this property. I said, you don't own your property. You're given a warranty deed when you pay off your house. That means you pay rent to your county. He goes, well, we all got to pay taxes. I mean, who's going to pay for the police and the firefighters? And I said, have you ever read the centralized annual financial report? It's a CAFO report. Have you ever read that? He didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Most people
don't. He had no idea what I was talking about. Because
most people don't. Most people don't realize that most all town governments like that have two sets of books, and if you go in and look and ask to see them, they'll show you the one set that they want you to see.
That's true. And because all states, the money is divided up, and people don't understand the banking system. I've got somebody down here who's the president of the board of directors of a local bank down here, and they don't and even they don't know what's going on. I tried telling them, you understand fractional reserve banking? All right, that's not true. That's not true. Now, common sense would say, if just say, for instance, your local bank, we have a local bank down here called the Bank of Oak Ridge. It has 5 banks. Okay, it's FDIC. Now, how could that bank lend out the depositors money and not fulfill its obligations? It's kind of like the gold standard. When if you go back to the money change, if you look up the documentary, The Money Changers or whatnot, it explains it all from the very beginning, how money was created, and they dealt with gold back then, and therefore all the depositors would deposit their gold, and the money changers said, wow, we got all this gold, why not let us lend it out and then collect interest on it, okay? And then when the depositors came back and wanted to collect their gold, there was no gold there in the vault anymore. So what they did is they wrote a piece of paper down and said, okay, this is now your currency. And they created paper money through that standard. And it goes way deeper than that. I'm just trying to give something here that the idiots out there can pay attention to. And that's how they created money. They gave a promissory note. And you then became the debt, okay? And then what they did was, as time went on, and the central banking scheme happened through the and if you look up the documentary Creature from Jekyll Island, it explains it very well by Edward Griffith, I believe it is. It explains it in fine detail how these bankers control everything, and that's why these bankers control and fund all sides of every war throughout global history. You know, except I think Mandelacon's still on the line here. I'm checking. Except the Revolutionary War, and that's why the Founding Fathers, if you read the Federalist Papers, warned us about allowing the King of England and the Rothschild and the European bankers and the European New World Order to take over our monetary system. Because once they control our monetary system, we have nothing to barter with. We become their slaves. And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, blah, 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 you're Chinese, you're yellow. It doesn't matter. That's just that comes into play later, you know, through our amusement parks, entertainment, drugs, and alcohol that the CIA ships into this country. But anyway, we're getting into a deep rabbit hole here. But people don't understand mortgages, and I think we debated this also a couple weeks ago on the podcast. They don't get it. They don't understand. Wells Fargo, Bank of America is not your friend. I exposed that when I called the Federal Reserve a couple weeks ago on this podcast. You do not matter. The Federal Reserve owns you, and you were born with a birth certificate. And on the right-hand corner of that birth certificate, if you don't believe me, there are bank routing numbers. You can go to E-Trade. The Federal Reserve even told me that on the phone live on this podcast. You need to contact E-Trade if I wanted to look up my birth certificate bank routing numbers. And then she said, you're going to be dealt with for calling us, you know, which they probably are dealing with me in a certain way right now. I don't know what yet, but I'll figure it out eventually. And go back and listen to that podcast. And then we followed up and called the Federal Reserve again, and they said, we won't talk to you. We don't want to talk to you. So anyway, I'm just trying to give people a brief outline, new callers here that are calling in, that don't understand that you are a slave. And back to what I was originally saying, you don't own property. When you pay off your house, you say, I got a 30-year mortgage, and you work your whole life, and you pay off your house, you're given a warranty deed, okay? Now look it up, idiots that are trying to send me messages right now. Look it up. What is the definition of a warranty deed? And then look up land allodial, okay, or a land patent. There's a huge difference. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. If you're smart enough to figure this out and go through the proper chain of command of this United States corporation, and I've spoken to people who have done it, okay, but you got to be very careful because they'll SWAT team your house and put you in a concrete box for 20 years, okay? So if you have a wife and children or whatnot, don't do it because, you know, you don't want to put them in jeopardy. Like the members of the Republic told me about 5 years ago when we were discussing this, they said, no, you know, you got to be careful. These people will come. They'll shoot you to death. They'll electrocute you. They'll kidnap you and put you in a concrete box. They've done it. I've spoken to people many times. But look up land allodial, look up land patent, and the difference between land allodial, land patent, and warranty deed. Okay, it's just like when you have a car and you pay off your car loan. You're given a certificate of title. You're not given the origin of title to the car because you never own it. You've got to pay the tax to the Federal Reserve Banking Cartel. They call it like the county tax or highway use tax or road tax. They call it that. See, they're amazing. They're amazing in their deception, how they use words through signs, symbols, and words. I've studied all this for many years, and if I really went into it deep, it would take me 2 hours to explain to you, and you still wouldn't get it, most of you. It's taken me over 15 years to figure this stuff out. And I'm not, like a lot of my family members said, hey, you know, you're going down a rabbit hole here. You just need to play the game. Because, you know, who's going to come save me when they SWAT team my house and haul me off and throw me in a concrete box for 30 years, you know, or label me a terrorist? He's got a gun! He's got a gun! He's a terrorist! You know, he was arrested back when he was 5 years old for stealing a candy bar. He's a terrorist. He's not allowed to own a gun. You know, whatever they label you as. And the prostitutes for CNN and Fox News, you know, they read from a teleprompter, you know, and they're told what to say. So when you watch your Fox and Friends or your CNN or your Mojo or whatever names I don't watch CNN at all because they're just so, or what's that woman, Rachel Maddow or whatever, all these people, these prostitutes out there that are pumping you day in and day out. And why do they do it? Because you keep saying the same thing over and over and over, people begin to believe it. And you believe America is free. You are not free. You are not free. You have no freedoms at all. You right down to your driver's license, right down to, when you go to the grocery store, you pay a tax. You have no freedom at all. And you have to understand the New World Order. You've got to get it. They have an agenda. They have a plan. These European banking cartels, for many, many years, okay, they have a plan. You go back to the Jesuits, the Roman Catholic Church, canon law. Go back to it. And if you go back and you read this stuff, and the Roman Empire and the Vatican Church, they got their hands in everything. Those filthy, rotten priests, the Roman Catholics, the Jesuits. We can get into the Jesuits on a program. I'll tell you things. I've got stacks of information that I read 20 years ago about the Jesuits. Okay, they control you. They own you. And all I'm trying to tell you is that you're a slave. But yet, Donald Trump is a racist. That's what I'm worried about today. And, oh, yeah, Hillary should have won. Yeah, support our troops. Let's go kill 2 million Iranians. Let's go bomb Africa. Let's go bomb Venezuela. You know what? North Korea's not in compliance. Compliance with who? They're their own country. If they want to build nuclear weapons, so be it. It's none of our business. If they shoot one off at us, we have the technology to shoot it out of the sky. And if any of you know about nuclear weapons or missiles, they go up into outer space as the world turns, then they go down. And we got satellites in outer space right now that can shoot anything out of the sky. Remember the Star Wars program that Ronald Reagan was talking about? That was actually done 20 years before Ronald Reagan was president, okay? They got technology that you don't even know, just like your stupid dumb phones. These cell phones been out since the 50s. You just weren't allowed to use them yet, okay? Simple as that. But you don't get it. And the bottom line is this. If you get rid of these criminal banking cartels out there that control our bartering system, that's the best start you can make. Understanding the bartering system and how the world works. Oil is the most important currency around the world, and Wall Street and all the trading markets out there. And anyway, I'm going deep down a rabbit hole, and a lot of people, like I said, would call me nuts. But if you start there, and if a light would wake up in your head, and you start doing your freaking research, and use the internet for the information age that they told you it was for, instead of saying, look at me, I'm at a party today, look at me, I'm hanging off the Grand Canyon, woo, and then they fall down and die. Let me take a selfie. It's all about me, Instead, why don't you do a little bit of research, and don't use Google or Yahoo. There are many other search engines out there you can use. Type in alternative search engines. Just wake up, for God's sake. That's all I'm saying. And all right, let's see here. Oh, boy. Let's go down the call screen. I'm sorry, Connecticut there. Did you want to make a comment here before I let you go and get to other callers?
Yeah, that's pretty much all the truth. I think Rachel Maddow, she's on MSLSD, I think. I don't get to see it that often, but I think that's the show. And you're actually right. They're all entertainment shows anyway. Like you said, whether it's Fox News or the Clinton News Network or MSLSD, they're all the same, and they're all spouting their own agendas for ratings, for money. And you're right about the criminal corporations. I mean, you go into the bank and you want to take out some cash or whatever, and they have to take your driver's license and they have to enter it into the system to make sure it's you, because they want to make sure they keep track of everything you do. In Connecticut, it's 21 to buy alcohol. The law specifically states if you look younger than 25, they can ask you for an ID. If you're 70 years old and you go in there, they're still asking you for your ID, and if you don't give it to them so they can enter it in the system and track what you purchase, they won't sell it to you. And that's what it's coming to.
And if you question them, they'll say, how many of you heard this before? It's our policy. It's our policy. You know? I thought we were under the Constitution.
The bank's policy and the grocery store policies and everybody's policy now trumps the law that they go by and everything else, which is absolutely wrong. But you know, if I go into my local grocery store and I buy any beer or whatever, and they want my ID, I usually go to this one checkout girl, and she'll just enter whatever she enters. I don't know, but anybody other, I just say just put it back because you're not going to see it.
Yeah, well, once they enter your ID, all of a sudden you start getting spam callers on your cell phone. Hello. We want to sell you a home security system.
That's not the worst of it. You enter your driver's license and everything else in there, and you're paying with a check or a credit card. The next thing you know, your bank account's empty.
Yeah. And your bank account says, and remember, Visa and MasterCard, zero liability, but they make you jump through hoops, and you got to fill out the fraud forms, and then they fractional reserve that, and then they erase it out of their debt, the bank, and then usually they refund your money. It's all a scam. It's all a big scam, you know, and that's very interesting. It's just like when I call people and say, do you accept Federal Reserve notes? And they're like, duh, what's that, you know?
Right.
They don't even know what a Federal Reserve note is, and they're carrying it around in their pocket.
We had a little cookout today, so I'll be listening for the rest of the show, but I have to go on mute and go outside and pick up some things, but I'll be listening for the rest of the show.
That's fine. All right, let's get to some more callers here, and then maybe we should call some people and ask them if they accept Federal Reserve notes, you know, and expose the dumbed-down idiots out there again. And you did hear it first, Spencer, on Blog Talk Radio, Understanding the Times in which we live in today. There's no border crisis. It's a big fat lie. The only crisis is that the CIA has been shipping in the cocaine and heroin into this country and flooding the streets of America for many, many years now. Watch that movie American Made about Barry Seal. It's an entertainment movie, but if you look up the documentary of Barry Seal, who was murdered during the 1980s, he worked for the CIA. And shipping the drugs in, the guns to Pablo Escobar and Carlos Slater. Look those names up, you know. Do it. All right. Okay, let's get to some more callers here and see what idiots we got. Press the number 1 if you want to talk here tonight and talk about the New World Order. All right. Let's see here. Oh, boy. All right. Let's take a private caller and see what happens. Like MandelaCon, the usual suspects are probably going to call in. But let's see. Private caller. Go ahead. I might have muted you by accident here. You've been taking some time to connect. By the way, Mr. Spencer, I have 210 callers right now on my call screen. So go ahead, private caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was somebody else, but yeah, I was hearing your show, and I really like it. I've been informing. Like what do you call it? Because I'm from California, so I've been like informing myself since the Twin Towers went down, man. You know, and that stuff is the stuff that like really like opened up my eyes. You know, and so let me ask you this question. So a lot of people woke up because of that. So do you believe that that jet planes flew into the Twin Towers and all the Twin Towers just all of a sudden collapsed and dispersed, and the theory of gravity and everything got thrown out the window? Because we know that jet fuel heats up to 1,400 degrees, and to melt steel you have to go to 2,400 to 2,500 degrees. And why did a lot of witnesses hear explosions? And why did Building 7 drop? Also, there no jet plane flew into that building. You know, so exactly,
yeah.
Bro. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've been actually doing my own research and all that. And have you ever heard of? I guess it's several people that go by the name of Q. And
no, I have not. To be honest with you.
Yeah, they supposedly work with the president, and they let out like little codes, clues. You got a whole bunch of several people on YouTube They have their shows. They break down the code, and man, it's been right on. You know?
Really? Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very. I would love to do some research on that. I've not heard about that actually. Because I have a bumper sticker on my pickup truck that says 9/11 was an inside job. You know, so and they had to bring down the World Trade Centers because the corporation was bankrupt and all the bonds were in the basement of the World Trade Centers, and that's a whole other story, a whole other show we can get into. I've covered it over the last 8 years. I've been on Blog Talk many times actually. So yeah, but I'm glad you agree with that, and you said that that's what woke you up basically about the World Trade Center, the 2001 so-called Taliban fighters that from Afghanistan that has 5 miles of railroad tracks managed to come over here and hijack an airplane, fly it into a building, and the building's collapsed. You know,
exactly.
And actually the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. So, but why weren't we bombing Saudi Arabia? You know,
they were all like CIA, man. So, and they killed.
They were
like
CIA.
their own
Yes.
people.
If you read, hang on, not to interrupt you. Actually, if you read the 9/11 Commission report, which I have read, it's over 2,000 pages long. It took me about a long time to read it. Yeah, they were actually CIA trained Saudi Arabians.
Yeah.
They were not from Afghanistan. They had nothing to do with Osama bin Laden, who we were flying guns to in the early 1990s to fight and 1980s to fight the Russians. So, you know, it's
and
a big rabbit hole, brother.
Yeah, and there's also like reports of them before they went and did all that. They were going to strip clubs and all that. So.
Yeah,
it's unheard of.
You know, it's not it's crazy. You know, I mean, did planes actually fly into the World Trade Center? I've met people that did see the planes, but like I said, I've also met people that were from there and they heard several explosions after the planes crashed.
Oh
and
yeah,
I've
that
had
were the
debates
bombs.
with people on here. Yeah, they put the bombs in there. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Actually,
and they blew those
my friend.
things up.
My friend he grew up in the Bronx, and his 2 of his friends, they're brothers, and they're also like I believe they're lawyers, and they had like a business, like a little business, like in there. You know, he actually like rented like one of the like you know, like we call it the spots up there, and he told my friend that probably about 2 to 3 weeks before all this happened, that they were having fire drills, and
you're absolutely correct. Yes, that was in the 9/11 Commission report. Actually, yes, you're absolutely correct.
And that they were doing some type of like renovation. Because they weren't like allowed to go back in. They had to wait, and then they would go back in, and then the next day the same thing again. You know, so you know that they were planning stuff in there. When it went down, you could see there's some beams that are actually cut like on the side. So yeah, man.
Yeah. Well,
look,
my friend, listen. All you got to do is Google it and look it up. You can even use Google to look this stuff up. Jet fuel heats up to 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And if you look at how much jet fuel is in a plane, all right, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying that to melt steel, to liquefy steel, you have to go to 2,400 to 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. And it has, and that's for at least for 3 hours, I think. I could be wrong here if someone has educated on this. To liquefy the steel and the steel columns of any building. I mean, look, we all know what they just had a big fire over there at a church over there in France. I think it was. It was about 2 months ago. You know, they had a big fire there. Why didn't the building collapse? You know, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The law, if you talk to any demolition expert, and Jesse the Body Ventura actually exposed this about 9/11, and then they shunned him, and he had a TV show for a little bit a while.
Yeah.
And they took him off the air quick. I forgot the name of it actually. This was back about 8 years ago, I think. Yeah, but you're absolutely correct. I agree with you 100%, and it's great that you're awake and you understand that. And 9/11 actually did wake up a lot of people to the New World Order and their plan. And you know, and then we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, and the reason why we went into Afghanistan was very simple, and I'm going to explain this real quick. To secure the poppy fields and the Caspian oil pipeline. And what happened after we went into Afghanistan? Well, what do you hear about now all over your fake corporate news media? The opioid crisis. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we know Afghanistan is famous for its poppy fields, you know? I mean, come on. And just like during the 1960s in Vietnam, opium was coming in from Vietnam. And look at the 1960s. The heroin overdoses, you know, it's all fake. It's all fake. It's like the opioid crisis. It's all a crock of baloney, and the corporate news media is a big fat lie. And I haven't heard your voice before on this podcast, but I've called people many times live on this podcast. I've called Senator Kamala Harris's office a month ago, and I spoke to, I don't know if you were listening, I covered this earlier on this podcast. I spoke to San Diego councilman's office. I spoke to a woman there and said there's no border crisis. The media is lying. I did that on my last show. And so we do this on this podcast. So, but I appreciate your call. Cool, I really do. Yeah. And
cool,
you sound very knowledgeable, and it's great to talk to people that are awake to and we don't have to agree all the time on everything, but at least you're awake, and you sound very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your phone call. I really do.
Yeah, and I always get like a lot of people that say, "Oh, you're into that stuff. You're into the conspiracy."
You're a conspiracy nut. You're a conspiracy nut.
Yeah,
something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
you know what? And you're not. You know what you are? You're a blessed individual, whether or not whatever you believe in, for wanting to seek the truth and understand, like the title of this show, understand the times in which you live in today. So you're a blessed individual for that. You know, and I, like I said,
cool,
I appreciate your call.
Yeah,
I really do. And go ahead.
And and the thing on the queue, there's like 4 channels on YouTube. One is called SGT. The other one is called Space Shot 76. And the other one is...
And can you give that out for the
IPOT.
people that are listening, how they can look this stuff up? Can you give that out, please? Because this is information that's new to me also. So can you give that out?
Yeah, just look, when you're on YouTube, type in IPOT, then also Space Shot 76, and SGT Report. Those are like the 3 main ones I go to.
Okay. Well, I like I said, you can mute yourself. I'll leave you online. I don't know how much time you got. We've only got about 48 minutes left to the podcast here. I've got some more people here who want to queue in, so I'll give them a voice.
Cool.
Hopefully they got something of some substance to offer to the podcast here tonight. So, Mandelicon, that was listening here, this wasn't one of the usual suspects. So, obviously, this gentleman is very knowledgeable, and he understands the New World Order, and he's awake. And like I said, we may not agree on everything, but it's good to hear live voices that have some substance instead of the usual suspects that call in, like Mandelicon said earlier. So, sir, I'll leave you on the line. You can jump in if you want. If you got to go, I understand. So let's take a private caller here. All right, thank you. Let's take a private caller. Go ahead, private caller. All right, maybe not.
So how are you guys
doing? You're unmuted, private call. Yep, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So how are you guys doing?
I said go ahead.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he must not understand anything. All right, let's go back to, I think, I don't know if 203 wants to come in here from Connecticut. I'll unmute him. Maybe he wants to add some more here to the conversation. I got a bunch of private callers in. What I want to do also here is do what I usually do, is I call people live on this podcast. I'm the only, and for all other people out there, I'm the only podcast that does that, actually. I don't know why. Other podcasters don't do that. They don't, because you have the opportunity to call people live, and they can't, and put them on the spot live. So let's see if Connecticut wants to get back in here in the conversation. Go ahead, Connecticut.
Yeah, I do.
Are you there?
Yeah, I do. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. In no time in history has a structurally reinforced building ever come down from a plane hit. We've all seen Godzilla hanging off of the Empire State Building, and granted, it was a smaller plane that crashed into there, I guess, in the 40s, and it didn't do anything. And if you look at and not that the trade centers didn't come down.
That was King Kong, actually. King Kong.
Yeah, whatever. And we know the trade centers came down. But if you look at the photo of the plane flying in it, the wings would have broken off. They wouldn't have went through the steel girders, and all the steel girders they had specially built for those buildings, it would make it impossible for a plane to fly through it like that. And not only did those two buildings come down, but at least 3 others came down as well. So not only did no building in history ever come down from a plane hit like that, but 3 others came down as well. And if you go look at the 4 major networks at the time of 9/11 when it was happening, all major networks had their cameras in the same location, which is strange all by itself, pointing in the same direction. 3 of the networks showed one of the planes supposedly coming in before it slammed into the building. But on one of the other networks, there was nothing, like they forgot to add it in. And now, I'm not saying the buildings didn't come down. What I'm saying is that we're being lied to.
Well, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. 9/11 was an inside job. Simple as that. Fact. Do your own research. And I said this earlier on the podcast. We call this the information age, right? When the internet really started blowing up in 1999 and 2000. Instead, what did they do with the information age? They turned it into Facebook, Twitter, and what do people do on Instagram and everything? It's all about me. Everyone is about me. I want to take a selfie. Hey, I'm going on vacation. You idiot. You're telling everybody around the world you're going on vacation. You got to be a jackass. And they're doing that to track you also, because your IP is tracked, your internet node is tracked, and we can get into computer technology. You're a good caller to do that, but what I want to do is take another caller here, and then what I want to do also is probably call a couple places here live, and just for the fun of it, ask them if they accept Federal Reserve notes, because I got so many emails on that. A lot of people were they thought that was pretty funny, that people, So, but Mr. Spencer has failed to call in here tonight. He was the one trashing me on another podcast. God's Rainbow Ministries, I don't know where you are. You said you were going to queue in here tonight. I was looking for you, actually. Oh, there's Jessica in the chat room. Jessica, oh, boy. I'm reading the chat room right now. Let's see. God's Rainbow Ministries, there you are. There you are. Thanks for listening, God's Rainbow Ministries. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was addressing your podcast earlier on in the podcast. So, all right, let's take a private caller. Go ahead, private caller.
You start that druggy crap on me, I will walk your happy ass out of here in 2 seconds.
Yeah? What crap are you talking about,
You need help.
I do?
You need serious help.
And why is that, sir?
You
why
are
do I need
a drug addict.
I am?
You are a drug addict.
And what drug am I on?
You got busted with drugs and drug paraphernalia.
It's a recording.
It's a recording.
Yeah, it's a recording.
Oxycontin, Adderall,
there's the mute button for him.
Speed.
Yeah. Let me mute him. There he goes. Those are the idiots that I attract on live podcasting. But unfortunately, I advertise that we're always 100% live, and then people say, you're not live. But but anyway, and then look at the idiots in the chat room here. You should defend him. He's been a long-time friend.
You should turn these jokers into a game. Only accept 2 private callers a night. This way, they'll all get ready for maybe get their chance.
Wait. Jessica there is saying, Joe, are you afraid to discuss Jews and their crimes against humanity? No, I'm not afraid to discuss that. What crimes have the Jews committed against humanity? Why don't you call in, Jessica? I'll give you a voice. Why don't you call in? I know you go to Tony Gaga's show later on tonight. I don't know if he's having a show tonight or not. Someone send me a link to that, please. Tony Gaga, I support Tony Gaga's show. He's usury. That I think that first and foremost. Look, you have to understand the central banking cartel. Most of them are European. J.P. Morgan was not a Jew. Carnegie was not a Jew. Warburg was not a Jew. Okay, so shall I go into all the stockholders of the Federal Reserve? Are there some Jews that own stock in the Federal Reserve and the central banks across the world? Yes. So, listen, if you want to attack Jews, that's not right. You can't blame all Jewish people for what some bad Jews have done. Are Jews good with money? Yes, they are. I'll tell you what, all Jews, they can throw a bundle of rotten rocks into a lake of water and pull it out and turn it into gold. So I'm not going to attack Jews, just like I'm not going to attack Africans, or I'm not going to attack any other caller that calls in here. So Jews are behind all the degradacy in the West. Now, what do you mean by that, Jessica? Come on. What do you mean the Jews are behind that? Are you talking about the Jesuits and the Roman Catholic Empire and the Vatican Church? That's what I'm talking about here. The New World Order, the Roman Empire. The Jesuits and those Catholic priests out there, and the Pope on a rope. So attacking Jews is just the way of the Federal Reserve dividing us as a people. Blaming one group of people for nonsense that's been created by an elite group from the very beginning, and this elite group actually, and I think 2 callers ago actually may understand this. Bohemian Grove in California, they worship Moloch, they worship the devil, they believe they see the devil, and it's a the Freemasons, the Illuminati. I've covered this. Maybe you just don't understand it. Joey is an unprofessional douchebag. Well, thank you, Louie. Yeah, Louie the Car Man. That's a good name. All right, that's the chat room, folks. If anyone wants to log into the chat room, that's what you're going to get. You attack Spencer. Let him call in. Well, where is Spencer? Give me his area code, Mr. Sparkles. I didn't attack Spencer. I addressed what he talked about last night on God's Rainbow Ministries. Let's see here. Maybe this is Spencer. Let's see. Private caller. Schofield
Let me ask you a
theology.
question.
That's a good question, Jessica. Go ahead, private caller. Hang on, I was just addressing the chat room. That's a good question, Jessica. You seem to know what you're talking about. Now you're getting somewhere.
Are you stereotyping
No, it's not
people?
nonsense, and maybe I'll explain that in the future. Go ahead, private caller. Sorry.
You send harassing emails from fake accounts.
I do?
You send harassing emails from fake accounts to Greg's cell phone.
I did?
Did you follow him?
I don't know. I've got 10,000 people on social media. I get porn pictures popping up. I get idiots. I got people pretending to be God's Rainbow Ministries, Pastor Ken. Come on, man. What are you talking about?
So I'm just going to let you respond.
Recording.
Yeah, that's
Greg?
pre-recorded. Yep. There you go. Where's Spencer, Jessica? Where's Spencer? I'll give Spencer time to call in here, and then we'll carry on here with the podcast. What I want to do is expose the dumbness of our society right now. So let's take 10 minutes to do that, and then I'll get back to the callers, and you guys can gather your thoughts, your pre-recorded messages, and attack me. If you're attacking me like this, I must be doing something right. But thank God I've got some good callers that called in tonight, and like MandelaCon, I had that private number individual talking about the World Trade Center. You know, you need to pay attention to what that individual said. You know, but anyway, the phone number is 657-383-0616. Everyone will get a voice here, but let's call somebody here in my local area and see how dumbed down our society is. And I'm going to handle this a different way, maybe. All right, hang on. Let me type in the number here. All right, let's see here. All right. You got to remember, it's Sunday night, but they should be open. I wrote this number down here, so let me call this number here, and let's see what happens. It's always an adventure. Oh. Hello? Oh, it's not dialing for some reason.
Emsley.
Yes, how you doing tonight? I was just wondering if you guys accept Federal Reserve notes.
Do we accept Federal Reserve notes?
I don't know what that is. That's what I said, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you don't? So how do I pay for my food when I come into your restaurant?
Money or card?
Can you define money, please? What is money? Hello?
She's stupid.
Hello?
Money says Federal Reserve on it.
Let's call. We'll hang up on that individual there. There. Let's hang up on there. They go. They dropped. Yeah, and that's our society. That's our voters. Those are our voters. So let me address it another way there. Maybe well, one more, and then I'll get the callers. Okay, everyone get a voice. But that's our. Those are the people voting out there. Those are the people creating these policies and laws. These are the people that don't know what they're talking about, and they're answering the phone for a corporation. And let's see here. Let's try this one. We'll see what they got to say.
These are the people that say cauliflower is racist.
They must be busy. If they don't answer, I'll hang up. If they get a voicemail, I'll hang up. They're probably busy. Come on, answer the phone. Answer the phone. They're probably on their break right now. All right, I won't take up anybody more time here on this one here. Give it 2 more rings and I'll hang up. All right, there we go. All right, well, let's see here. Let me cancel that call. There we go. Those are the 2 numbers there I had to call there real quick. But that was very interesting. No, we do not accept Federal Reserve notes. No, we do not. We only accept money or card. How about a microchip? Do you accept microchips? Maybe I should call her back. Do you accept microchips? Or a chip card? Do you accept a chip card? Yeah. Oh my Lord! Yeah, you know that is hilarious. It really is. All right, let me go to another caller here that's waiting on the line here. Hopefully, someone's got something to say here of some substance. They dropped. 3 callers just dropped at once, so they're probably pre-recorded. Let me see here. Bitbanker from Connecticut. If you want to talk here for a few. Oh, there we go. They're popping back up. So let's see what happens here. I'm waiting for Mr. Spencer to call in. Someone's messaging me in the chat room now. Know that you're talking about. Oh, wait. Oh, doesn't know. Hang on. Louis the Car Man. That's his name. He says, don't bully. They just sent me a message. Don't bully others. I'm bullying people now by asking if they accept Federal Reserve notes. Oh, my Lord. You should see the messages I get in the chat room. I mean, this is crazy. Where's Spencer at? They don't know what they're talking about. That's why I'm trying to wake them up. Go ahead, private caller.
Hi. Guess who?
Yeah,
Oh,
who's
that's
this?
Herbert. That's Herbert from Family Guy.
Jesse? You starting to piss me off, you little piglet son of a bitch. I'm looking for a car.
Now, why would you call his mother a bitch? Why would you do that?
You know, with colorful pictures of ice cream trees.
Yeah.
With colorful pictures of ice cream trees. And it plays a tune that's fun for the young children. Da 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 da.
Okay, all right, thank you, goodbye. You know, I was hoping I wouldn't get any trolls. That caller will hang up and not listen. But that's what you get when you do live radio, live podcasts, understanding the times in which you live in today. And you know what? I think Bitbanker wanted to say something there real quick, and I think Medelicon's still on the line here. Hang on, let me scroll up. Yep, he's still there. Good. Thanks, Medelicon, for continuing to listen. Yeah, we got the usual suspects here. So hang on. We got a bunch of others here calling in. Go ahead. You're live on Understanding the Times in which we live in today. Oh, my Lord. Go ahead.
My best, that's all I need now is a boy.
That's Tony Gaga. Someone's recording Tony Gaga's show there. Tony Gaga's pretty popular. Actually, he's more popular than me on Blog. Actually, I'm number 2 on Blog Talk, and Tony Gaga, for some reason, is number 1. But he has a very funny show. You guys got to check it out.
Oh, yeah,
He does good entertainment. He lets me call in all the time, actually. But I'm trying to educate people. That's what I'm trying to do. So, have a serious discussion here. So, Bitbanker, do you want to talk here real quick and maybe talk about these dumbed-down people that continue to haunt my podcast?
No, I can't talk too much. Like I said, I'm out picking up from the party, putting away the laptop and things like that. But, you know, we talked about 911, and anybody will tell you that if you have a demolition, you get about a 30% of the original height of the debris pile. And as you see with the World Trade Centers, it was nowhere near that height because the buildings were mostly empty at the time that they came down. And if you look at pictures of the trade centers prior to that, you can look through the windows and see right through, which basically proves that they were all cleaned out. So they were cleaned out far in advance. And what concerns me is that when Bush was sitting in that second grade schoolroom reading that book, and they told him, he had the dumbest look on his face, as sort of like, oh my God, they actually did it. That's what I get out of it anyway. I don't know if that's the truth or not, because you know, I mean, he's the president of the United States, and I want to give him all the credit in the world for that. But you know, he acted kind of dumb all the time, you know, and that's what I got out of it when they did that. It's like, oh my God, what do I do now? You know, because they actually did it. But in any event, no, that's it. I'll continue listening to the rest of the show.
All right.
Hey, did you guys?
Well, what I'll do is,
okay.
it's go ahead, sir.
Did you guys know Trump is the number 2 master chess player in the world?
I didn't know that, actually. Is he really?
Yeah. Yep.
I really did not know that. I mean, why is that, do you think? I mean, what was that guy's name that was real good at chess? I forgot his name. Oh, Lord.
Bobby Fischer.
Yeah. See, this guy's smart. See, this guy on the line right now, he's smarter than me, actually. Bobby Fischer, yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right. He was the number 1 guy in chess.
Yep.
You know? That's very, yeah, and I didn't know Trump was number 2, actually. But let's
Trump's
call
number
someone
2.
else and see if they accept Federal Reserve notes. Let's see here. Let's try this number here. This could be a legit one here. So let's see. There we go. I got so many callers online, I can't get through to anybody. Hello? 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 Well, Maybe not. Maybe I got the. Hang on here. I'm just. Actually, I dialed the wrong number. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone out there. Let's try. Here it is. This is the right number here. Let's see here. Oh Lord. Yeah, I should have. I didn't know what was going to happen tonight. Usually, I program the show. I have a guest or something, or I do this sometimes for the entire show. But I'm going to give everyone a wrap up here tonight, just to talk. Everyone that queued in here tonight that had something sensible to say before I wrap up the show. So just hang on. We're on for about 27 more minutes. I think everybody's closed. Remember, it's Memorial Day.
Welcome to Taco Bell, may I help you?
Yes, how you doing, sir? I was just wondering if you accept Federal Reserve notes at your place.
Hold on, here got my manager.
Oh, manager.
Taco Bell, okay?
Yeah. Oh, you're on Martin Luther King Drive, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering if I come in. Do you guys accept Federal Reserve notes?
I'm sorry?
I said if I come in, I was just wondering when I pay for my food when I come to order, do you accept Federal Reserve notes?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. You're the manager of Taco Bell and you don't know what a Federal Reserve note is?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, it's do you have any like? It's a piece of paper that you walk around with, usually in your purse or your pocket, and it says $1 bill or $10 bill or $20 bill, $50 bill or $100 bill. It's called a Federal Reserve note.
Okay.
So you accept those, correct?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, so how do I pay for my taco if you don't accept $1 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills, or $50 bills, or $100 bills? How do I pay for my taco? Hello? Hello?
After you told her that it's a $1 bill, $2 bill, she didn't get it, man.
I even told her what it was. You're absolutely right. I even told her. She still said no. She's probably looking at her dumb phone right now, looking it up. Somebody just asked me. She's contacting her district manager. Somebody just asked me if I accept Federal Reserve notes. What do I say?
Oh, man.
Yeah. And that was on Martin Luther King Drive, Taco Bell and Martin Luther King Drive. Very interesting. Maybe we'll do a follow-up on the next show about that. Very interesting. Oh, my Lord. Oh, wow. That's our society that we live in. And this is the society that, I mean, these are the people that we live next to, we shop with, we walk around in our communities. And at least me here in my area, I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina, podcasting from Greensboro, North Carolina, and just think, these are the people walking around next to me, and that's why I call them zombies. They don't even know what a Federal Reserve note is.
Ask them if they accept silver coin or a silver dollar.
Well, they may go into like a ballistic fit or a post-traumatic stress disorder fit and maybe have a nervous breakdown.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but when they educate themselves and they find out that silver dollar that they're going to give you $1 for is worth $14, maybe they'll educate themselves then.
Maybe. Let me scan some more callers here real quick here. Anyone press the number 1? I know, poor Joe. I'm waiting for Spencer to press the number 1. He's failed to do so. But this is understanding the times in which you live in today. And we called a couple establishments here. That was Taco Bell, actually. That was a manager from Taco Bell. And she had no clue what a Federal Reserve note was, and I explained it to her very clearly. And she still said, no, we don't accept them. Oh, my Lord. We're in trouble in America, folks. Now listen, on a serious note here, wouldn't you be, aren't you concerned now? I mean, for goodness sake, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm smarter than anybody. I'm not trying to say my callers are. What I'm saying is they don't even know the money, what it's called, in their pocket that they're bartering with. So therefore, how are we supposed to wake people up to the Federal Reserve banking cartel when they don't even know what money really is? I mean, I should have asked her how far she went in school, but she hung up on me. You know, I don't know. Maybe if I called them and said they're live on a radio show, maybe they'll probably start giggling and laughing and then go into a coma or something. I don't know. You know, this is an experience, and a lot of people have emailed me and said they liked what I did there, and it shows. And of course, I get the idiots on Blog Talk Radio that don't have any clue at all, and the trolls. But I'm going to wrap up the podcast here tonight. I know there's some more minutes here left, but I think we really addressed understanding the times in which we live in today. The next show, listen, just follow me on blogtalkradio.com/Joseph Gibson. You can follow me on Facebook. Well, actually, you can't because I got 5,000 friends. Facebook only allows 5,000 friends. You can look me up on Twitter, though. Yeah, that allows as many followers as you want. Follow the show. I mean, I give everyone a live voice. So anyway, I've got a private caller on the line here. He's been hanging out with us for a while. So I'm going to let him just talk, just educate us, brother. Educate us. I'm going to give you some closing thoughts. Go ahead. Maybe I lost him. I don't know. Maybe I lost him. I don't know. 657-383-0616. Closing thoughts. Anyone has anything they want to contribute, press the number 1. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes here just to have some closing thoughts. Okay? And real quick here. For the caller that was on for a while here, I play this intro a lot, actually. Hang on here before I get to anyone else, because we got 21 minutes left. Why not use it wisely? Let's see here. Hang on here. Where is that at? He'll like this one because we were just talking about this. I used to play this as my intro. Maybe not. I can't find it. Hang on. All right. Okay. All right. I'll take some more callers here. 386 from Florida. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? I know it's Memorial Day weekend, and you know we paid tribute to our troops, and I'm all for that, you know. But I'm like 55 years of age, and I sit back and wonder, you know, growing up, I just missed the Vietnam War and being drafted into, you know, the war. And I was just wondering how that works. We have not had a war that you had to be drafted. And I really don't know how that works. I guess World War I and II, you were drafted too. And
they did away with the draft.
If I had that choice now to make, I wouldn't do it. But, you know, as 18 years old or 16 or whatever, when they draft you, you know, I just missed it by a few years. What choice would you have? I mean, you know, you're a criminal if you don't join, you know, the army or wherever you drafted. You know, hang
on a second here. They did away with the draft, but you do have to register what selective service is it or something? I don't know. Maybe Bitbanker knows about that.
Go to the post office and get the form when you turn 18. I think it's 71 or whatever. They changed it. Everyone who registered is classified as 1H now or something like that.
I think I did it at like 14. It was younger than 18. I did have to sign up for the draft because it was at the end of the Vietnam War when I was, you know, I was born in 1963, so. You know, I just missed it by a few years, but I did have to sign up for some kind of draft. I remember, and I thinking I was like 14 or something because they were registered.
Well, no, it'd be 18 actually. 18.
The war or something, and you know, thank God I didn't have to go over there. I mean, I don't mean it that way.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you know what a Federal Reserve note is?
I do. I'm carrying a couple of them on me right now as we speak. And, you know, it's all I have when I go into a restaurant or to a Walmart or wherever, you know. That's the only thing I have to give them. You know, I do have a debit card, but
What do you think about September? Well, let me ask you a question, caller. What do you think about September 11th, 2001? There, do you believe 9/11 was an inside job and they blew up the World Trade Centers?
I do believe that it was something fishy there. Those buildings were imploded. They weren't. They did not blow up from the airplanes going into them. I do not believe that. And if you look at footage of it coming down, you can see how it implodes. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I guess somebody knew it. Well, I guess you call that an inside job because somebody knew.
Well, how about this? Well, isn't it amazing that 10 years earlier, Daddy George Bush declared his New World Order? I played that in the beginning of the show. On September 11th, 1991, where he gave his fifth objective and said, not the laws of the jungle, we can achieve our New World Order. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that weird also?
Yeah, supposedly we live by the law of the jungle right now, right? Because our Constitution, I guess. And he said it, didn't he?
He sure did. He sure did. All right, well, we got to get ready to wrap up the show, but let's try calling one other place there and see if they accept Federal Reserve notes. I got some more numbers there while I was playing that commercial. It's just funny listening to stupid people, and people in the chat room. You're making fun of people, blah 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 blah, because they don't know any better. Well, we're going to educate them. That's what we're going to do right now. So let's try it. If they answer. You got to remember, it's Sunday evening. Memorial Day weekend.
Wendy's running my road.
Yes, how you doing tonight, sir? I was just asking, where's your Wendy's located?
Randleman Road.
Randleman Road, Greensboro. Okay,
yeah.
If I come in, I was just wondering, do you accept Federal Reserve notes there?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I was wondering if I come in, I was just asking if I'm a different type of person. I'm well educated. I was wondering if you accept Federal Reserve notes.
Not that I know of, no.
Okay, so what do you so you don't accept $1? So would you accept silver coins if I paid that way, like if I had gold and silver?
So you saying if we accept silver coins?
Yeah, if I came in, because the Constitution says gold and silver is the only legal tender that I'm supposed to use according to the Constitution in Article 1. I was just wondering, would you accept gold and silver if I came in and wanted to buy a cheeseburger? Would you accept gold or silver?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on.
We talked about that.
Let's order a bacon cheeseburger.
Hang on. He's figuring it out right now. Hang on 1 second. You're on hold.
Manager.
It's a tough question to answer, It's a very difficult question to figure out.
Is it in pawn stores now?
He's got me on hold. I'll tell you what, the next one I'll just let him know I'm calling in live from a radio show. How's that sound? Hello?
He's back.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Do you accept Federal Reserve notes?
I'm not sure about that. All right, he's got me on hold, so I'll put them on mute. They hung up on me. They just hung up. This guy's a whack job. Hang on. Let's call him back. I don't like being hung up on. All right, let's call him back. Hello?
Don't get fired, Joe.
Hello?
Don't get him fired. At least he's...
Hello? All right. Well, what we'll do is, hang on. All right, I got another number here. We'll just tell them right up front that I'm calling in live from a radio show, and let's try to because I'm getting a lot of people saying that I'm not educating the people. So let's educate them then. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, hang on here. All right, we'll try another one here. Well, I'm going to take the people in the chat room's advice, okay, and I'm going to talk kindly to them and be, because you don't want to offend anybody nowadays, So let's tell them that we're calling them live to a. How about that? All right, everyone, please mute your microphone or your cell phone. Let me handle this. They answer.
Hi, Wendy's.
Hi, how you doing tonight? I'm calling in from a live radio show, podcast show on the internet. And I was just wondering, do you know what a Federal Reserve note is? And if you do you accept Federal Reserve notes? Hello? Yeah. Hello? See, I'm trying to educate people on what Federal Reserve notes are. Oh, they just hung up on me. There you go. See, I tried to educate them. How could you talk to people who I was upfront and honest. Let's try calling them back one more. Well, nah, we better not. We better not, because I told them what I was doing, so they could construe that maybe as harassment. But anyway, very interesting. Very interesting. Once again, as usual, people don't even know the money that they have in their pocket and what it's called. And then the other Wendy's there that I called. How about this? Hang on here. Let's try it this way. We got time.
You know that's the Wendy's where we got a seatbelt ticket and we went. You do remember that, right? It's on Randleman Road. It's only.
They got my number screened now. They're not going to answer probably. But I'm going to have to speak to the manager. That's what I'm going to do. They probably saying this guy's a whack job.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Oh, yeah, they got my number. They got my number blocked. There we go. All right. We got to wrap up the radio program here tonight. So I'm going to give closing thoughts to the callers that called in here tonight. So, private caller, you've been hanging out with us for a while. I've got a bunch of other people, but they're probably trolls too. So, I'll put this on Facebook, of course. Do you accept Federal Reserve notes? The show link, and maybe people can get a good laugh out of this. How dumbed down and morally bankrupt our society is. Go ahead, private caller. You want to educate us for a couple minutes? I'm going to give you some closing thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, it's just so sad that these people are uneducated. I mean, it's not their fault. It's just the way that they were brought up. They watch too much TV, too much entertainment, and too much programming that their mind is being programmed. Right?
Very true, brother. Very true.
And it's just so sad. So hopefully they will wake up and see the light.
Amen. Amen to that. And you know what? Like I said, I appreciate your call tonight. We were talking about 9/11 earlier. For those new callers that missed it, and you're somebody that's awake, and I appreciate you spending your time with me on this podcast. I really do. And hopefully you'll tune in again in the future when you get time. And obviously you'll probably make time because I think you enjoyed the podcast here.
Oh yeah, man.
From
this
Greensboro.
is my first time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do. Because there's one thing you can never give back in life, and that's your time.
Yeah.
You can give back Federal Reserve notes, right?
Yeah.
But there's one thing you can never get back, and that's your time. And I really appreciate your call here tonight. I really do. So Bitbanker from Meriden, Connecticut, and then Florida. Obviously, he might want to say something here at the end. And then, because we only got 5 minutes left, so we got to be quick here. Meriden, Connecticut. Do you want to add just something here real quick before we wrap it up?
I'm way out at the end of my yard watering my garden. I don't have anything to add, so I'll just continue listening.
All right, that's fine. All right, Florida. Go ahead if you want to have some final thoughts here, and you got a lot of friends here from North Carolina listening. So go ahead, Florida.
Well, I really don't have anything to add. I really don't. I'll probably just listen to it.
That's fine. That's fine. If you guys want to listen, that's fine for the last few minutes. If not, I understand, your time is precious. But look, the show is called Understanding the Times in Which We Live in Today, and I've called the Federal Reserve Live for all the new callers out there and the dumbed-down callers. All you got to do is go back and listen to the archive shows. And there was one great show I had for the governor of Colorado, the governor of the free state of Colorado on my show about 3 weeks ago. That was a great show. And Dr. Peter Ventura from Imperial Beach, San Diego, California, Bible Believers Baptist Church, he really broke it down for us also. It was an educational show. That was one of the popular shows that I had. And also when I called the Federal Reserve and they threatened me. So I'm still waiting for the Federal Reserve to deal with me. Maybe they are in their own way. I don't know. Maybe my bank account will be closed tomorrow. Who knows? But and we also called Kamala Harris a couple weeks ago, her office. They commented on gun control, the Second Amendment. We covered that. And also, if you missed last week's show, we called the San Diego City Council men's office. I called councilmen, but a woman was the city council member, and said there is no border crisis. The media is just lying to you. The border control has everything under control. So what are we to believe? Just like 9/11, what are we to believe? But I'm going to end the podcast here tonight. I'm not letting any other private callers on the line here tonight. I don't need to be threatened or harassed. But I want to thank everyone that listened. Tune into the next show. Follow me, blogtalkradio.com/Joseph Gibson. It's free. You don't have to subscribe like Rush Limbaugh and pay, or Glenn Beck or other corporate media outlets out there that brainwash you with their advertisements and their nonsense. Look, folks, we're getting ready to go to war with Iran. We got North Korea, Venezuela. I've been preaching it for years. It's finally coming true. Your corporation is broke. Your United States District of Criminals, your politicians, Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't matter. They're all lying to you. We're not a democracy. We were founded as a republic. A democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. So anyway, thank you, everyone, for listening. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode. Good night. God bless. Take care.